So, like, how would you want to introduce yourself, like, very quickly, just for the audiences to know that who you are, what you have done till date, and why you are on this podcast today? Like, what are we going to talk about?
Okay. So hello Morris and hello everyone whosoever is listening me. My name is Priyanka Bhagchandani, a very chirpy and a very smiley personality who believes in living life to fullest. I am, as a educational qualification, I did my graduation from Delhi University and then chartered accountancy. Coming more towards my passion life, I am a public speaker and a corporate trainer. I love speaking, I love stage, I love interaction. So in a nutshell, I can call myself as a public speaker and a corporate trainer. This podcast is basically to tell about what corporate training is, what public speaking is, how we can make more out of both the worlds. So basically, we are here for this discussion today.
Okay, great. I want you to like, so this was your basic introduction as to like who you are, what you have done and all. But I want you to go in depth into your journey. Like right now, what you mentioned was where you are currently in life. But I want you to like take people through the entire journey. Like how have you reached till here? Like what are the things that you have done and like how has it helped you reach this point in life? Your basically your entire journey in short.
Which is a very interesting question because obviously everyone wants to look at the journey which they have led and what have brought them here where we are right now presently interacting with each other. Talking about my journey, I'm still a very simple girl and before also I was a very simple girl. But this simple girl had a lot of dreams in her eyes and those dreams were always about interaction. So how the journey began, how I decided that I have to be a public speaker and a corporate trainer. For that, I'll take you to the past of my life, the past tense of my life. So how it happened that we in our CA world we have this trainings, journal management and communication skills training, which is
Yeah.
known as GMCS. So I was a part of that training, and there were 60, 70 students who were there in the training, and the training was of 14 days. So
Okay.
every day a new faculty used to come in that training. Every day you will find a new face who will be talking to you, who will be interacting with you. So there was this faculty who came in the session and he brought an activity with him that everyone in the class is supposed to come up with a B plan, that is a business plan. So what
Okay.
he did, he divided the class into different groups. So I was also in a group and I was leading that group. And Morris, I'll be very honest, I was not at all serious for the activity. I told that I'm a very chirpy girl and a very humorous personality. And trainings, I guess it is meant for fun.
Yeah.
So I was just enjoying myself, and I took an extended lunch hour. And the B plan session, the activity was supposed to start after the lunch session. And I took an extended lunch session. I explored that very place of training. I heard that there is some famous spot of eating. Like there was this pan wala who was very famous in that spot. So I just decided why not to explore the place. So I took extended lunch hour and with me the entire bunch. Whosoever found my personality to be a jolly one or influencing one, they all were with me.
Yeah.
And they were a bit scared that we have taken an extended lunch hour. So now we'll be rebuked or we'll be scolded.
Yeah.
So, but the faculty was very, very generous. Faculty was very kind. He didn't say anything and he allowed us back to the class in the session. The activity started and I presented my business plan. I remember that the business plan was something about the toys, that we'll be setting up some toy factory or a toy showroom where we're selling the toys. So I
Yeah.
was supposed to present that activity with entire bunch of mine, entire group of mine. So I came up with a very positive line that when a child come on this planet, whenever a child takes birth on the planet, he comes on the planet or she comes on a planet, what first thing he or she looks at? Obviously, there's this toy above the cradle, which is there. Everyone knows that, no? So I
Yeah.
started with a very positive note. And when the activity got completed, so there was this title which was supposed to be given by the faculty that who is the best student of the class, of the session, of the bunch. And everyone said that it's Priyanka, it's Priyanka, it's Priyanka. And somehow I was like, okay, is it me? And yes, the sir said, you all are right, it's Priyanka. So somehow I got the best student title there. And sir added one thing very beautifully, that you have a positive arena in you, a sense of positivity in you. The way you started the presentation was enough to make everyone into you. Like everyone was glued onto what this girl will speak. So that was the aura which he found in me. And he said that you are meant for something like this, interactions and all.
Yeah.
And that line touched me. And somehow I was actually feeling very happy that, okay, fine, this is something me. obviously facilitation, appreciation is secondary, but you
Yeah.
start feeling good, that soul nourishment. I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling so happy. Then we had, moving ahead in my life, we had this sessions on finance, which is a subject, a strategic financial management subject. Therein, I was awarded as the best speaker trophy. I got best speaker. And again, if we are not running short with time, I can narrate you the story how it happened, if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
allow
go
me
ahead.
to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, go ahead completely.
What happened in that very classes, CA classes are always tough. You have to get up early in the morning, 6 o'clock, and you have back-to-back classes. Plus, I belong to Delhi University. I did my graduation from Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, BCom honors. So classes, and then college, and then classes. So it used to be a very hectic schedule. So I remember my finance classes used to be in morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. But it was getting very difficult for me to get up in the morning 6. So what I did, I shifted it in the evening, that I'll do the classes in the evening.
Okay.
सुबह 750 800 स्टूडेंट्स होते थे. Yes, you heard it right. 750 800 students banquet hall में
In a
class
batch.
होती थी.
In a batch.
Yes, in a
Okay.
batch itself. And if you
Okay.
have any doubt, bouncers will be there and they'll be giving you the mic and you can ask the doubt. ऐसा होता था. Mic उठाओ, सर से doubt पूछो. स्टूडियो में होते हैं, पूरा banquet hall में होता है. शाम के बैच में 150-200 बच्चा होता है. ठीक है. So I shifted to evening batch and I was sitting in the second row. सेकेंड रो में थी और मैं बातें कर रही थी. आई टोल्ड यू माई नेचर इज दिस. आई रियली कैन नॉट टेक थिंग्स टू सीरियसली ऑन माई सेल्फ. आई नो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आर important but not seriously.
Yeah.
Fine. So I was sitting in the second row and I was talking. And sir, from the podium itself, from the stage itself, he noticed me that I'm talking. And शाम की classes record होती थी. यानी कि कैमरा होगा और रिकॉर्ड होंगी. क्यों रिकॉर्ड होंगी? क्योंकि दिल्ली से बाहर जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो पेन ड्राइव खरीदेंगे या रिकॉर्डिंग्स खरीदेंगे, तो कैमरा पर्सन सर के रिकॉर्ड करता था शाम की क्लासेस. तो आई रिमेंबर ही वाज टीचिंग अस सम इन्फ्लेशन पॉइंट, रियल इन्फ्लेशन, मॉनेटरी इन्फ्लेशन. एंड आई वाज इन द सेकंड रो इटसेल्फ एंड फ्रॉम द स्टेज ही सेड, जब तक ये लड़की मुझसे सवाल नहीं पूछेगी मैं आगे नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And I said, sir, it is clear to me. It is very clear to me. He said, जब तक आप मुझसे सवाल नहीं पूछोगे मैं आगे नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा. And I was like, sir, it's very clear to me. He repeated it thrice. Like, जब तक आप सवाल नहीं पूछोगे मैं आगे नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा. मैंने मॉरिस इतना बोल दिया कि sir, the concept is so clear to me that I can even explain you. I told him this. He was like, very good, come on stage. ठीक है. तो मैंने बोला okay. I went on the stage and I always had this in my mind that stage is something me. ठीक है. मैं जैसे stage पे गई, I took advantage of the opportunity. I was like, hey, I'm Priyanka and I have a dream of being on stage and today I'm on stage. So I'll be explaining you the concept. तब तक तालियां बजनी शुरू हो गई because confidence एक बहुत important चीज होती है. सबसे बड़ी चीज तो वही होती है. Yeah. So maybe everyone who are right now listening and who want to be a public speaker and a trainer, they should note this word of mine, confidence. So I was on the stage and I started giving the presentation, giving that what he has taught. And there were non-stop clapping, okay. clapping. And camera person ने obviously मेरी तरफ camera कर दिया था. And उसके बाद क्या हुआ है, उसी सेशन में सर ने मुझे क्लास के एंड डे पर भी एक स्टोरी नरेट करने के लिए सुनाया. फेयरवेल में सर ने मुझे बेस्ट स्पीकर की ट्रॉफी दी, दैट शी इज बेस्ट स्पीकर ऑफ द एंटायर बंच एंड शी विल टेल यू हाउ शी इज एंड व्हाई शी इज. So he invited me again among 800 students. You can imagine I was there. I have the photographs. I'll share it with you. Wherein he gave me that best speaker trophy. Yeah. And that day, it was again very clear to me that this is me. The stage is me. The interaction is me. The mic is me. Not because of the appreciation, because of the soul nourishment which I get. आई रिमेम्बर मुझे उसके काफी सालों बाद तक मेरे दोस्त मुझे मैसेज करते रहे कि यू आर राइट नाउ ऑन आवर स्क्रीन, क्योंकि मैंने फाइनेंस का लेक्चर सबसे पहले ले लिया था. सीए में सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं, आपकी मर्जी होती है आप कौन सा सब्जेक्ट पहला लेना चाहते हैं, पढ़ना चाहते हैं. सबने बाद में किया होगा और सबने सर की पीडी खरीदी होगी या सीडीज खरीदी होंगी अपने अपने एरिया में. वहां से मुझे मैसेज आते थे, यू आर ऑन माई स्क्रीन. एंड आई वाज लाइक, वेयर? बिकॉज क्लासेस खरीदी हैं और मैं उस क्लास में एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ एक पॉइंट. So this is how I began my journey and so was very clear कि करना यही है, public speaking और corporate training ही करना है.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, like, after listening to this journey, like initially in the between, like you had this doubt whether you need to go so long in this or not. So just to put it out there, like the internet already has a lot of information. Like if someone wants to become a public speaker, they can easily Google. There are like listicles out there. That's there. What's not there is stories. And that's what I try to bring out through this podcast. Like, okay, she has become a public speaker, but now let's know her story. And that's not on Google. That's something that's personal to you. and that's what comes up through
Yes.
conversations like this. So yeah,
Yes.
that was the point. Moving to the second question, I wanted to ask you that like being into this industry, being into the industry of corporate training, of public speaking, are the finances secured? Like if after college, if you are getting into this thing, can you say that, okay, I'm earning decent money, like as much as my other friends who have probably done an MBA, who have probably done the mainstream courses? Uh, do these professions also pay like almost equal to them, like decent wages? Is that the thing?
Okay. Again, it is one of the interesting questions wherein I will tell you that from scratch itself, if you begin the journey, like you said, if you after college are going for a public speaking and a corporate trainer thing, come on, wait. I'll say wait. I'm not saying don't go for it. No, I will never say this, but I'll say wait. Why? Have some experience. And from where that come, I'll tell you that also. Secondly, will it pay the way MBA pays or after CA you get the amount? The answer partially is yes and partially is no. How come? See, when you become a chartered accountant, obviously you get a package. You studied and you get a package. Public speaking and corporate training is all about the skills. It is not about some bookish knowledge. It is all how you have that power to influence people, how you are there on stage. When you begin the journey, it's not easy. Nothing is
Okay.
easy in life. Who says that anything is easy and anyone will come to you and say, oh, this is your dream, just have it? No, you have to work hard for that. If I talk about my journey, I have given many years of life giving free sessions. Inverted commas, may I'm saying this, free sessions, FREE, free sessions.
For
Why I
exposure.
did this?
For
Yes.
exposure.
Why I did this? Because, and at that time I had no idea that this will help me in a long run. No. I gave free sessions because I told you that that activity was soul nourishing for me. जैसे किसी को खाना बनाना पसंद होता है ना, वो
Yeah,
किचन में
yeah,
कभी भी किसी भी वक्त जाकर कुछ भी बना सकता है क्योंकि उसको वो अच्छा लगता है. तो सेम मेरे साथ था. मुझे आप कहीं पर भी खड़ा कर दो बोलने के लिए, मुझे अच्छा लगता है, मैं बोलूंगी, भले you are paying it, you are paying for it or not. So in this way, with this approach, I started. But soon, when I started giving free sessions, or let's say a sessions for very nominal amount, I have been with such companies also who pay very less commercials, but I was getting an exposure to it.
yeah.
How I was getting exposure to it? For example, Maurice, right now you asked me that Priyanka, there is a session in so and so college, and I won't be paying you. Fine, and not at this stage, but obviously when I started my journey, so I'll be like, Maurice, fine, I'll be going. Why? Because I'll have photos out of the session, I'll
Yeah.
have feedbacks out of the session, I'll have testimonials out of the session.
Yeah.
I'll show off it. I'll put it on Instagram. I'll put it on WhatsApp status. And we all have number of contacts on WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta. And in this way, your network becomes your net worth. And that is how you make money out of it. So
Yeah.
now moving very particularly to the answer, which you asked me, is it that way equivalent to CA and MBA? Not in a shorter run, no dear, not at all. But in the longer run, yes. I have seen certain speakers, I have seen such person in my life who are making a lot in this public speaking and corporate training. I am still in middle. So
Yeah.
yes, you can make a lot of it in this
Yeah, and this
field.
completely makes sense. Like, unlike going for a regular day job, wherein like right from your day one, you get X amount of package, such things initially, I really like your point of initially giving like free sessions and all, and then building up on the testimonial part. So yeah,
Yes.
that is completely, I completely agree to that point. But next I wanted to move on to a topic, which was that you mentioned that you really liked being on stage, you really liked talking to people, and you were like, following your passion in a way through this profession. But like a lot of students, this like right now, a lot of students have this doubt that, okay, passion and all is good, but beyond a point you need to pay your bills, you need to like make decent money at least to get your basics sorted. So like in your opinion, what should be the deadline that, okay, till like 24 till 25 till 26, maybe if you're following your passion, that's great, do it, like let the child in you stay alive. But beyond a point, if that thing is not making you money, you need to take a step back and say that, okay, this thing's not working out, maybe I thought that this is great, but maybe I'm not that great at it, or maybe like there could be 100 different reasons why I'm not making money out of it. So like when should be the point wherein you say that, okay, let's put at least a comma on the passion, if not a full stop? So like if you get the thing, if you could brief the audience on that.
My life, my journey has given me a lot of incidents wherein I also reached the point wherein you said putting a full stop to it or putting a comma. Depends on you which punctuation mark you want to use. I very well remember I went there for an interview and I cleared all the rounds. Yes, I cleared all the rounds, and this was being told to me that I cleared all the rounds. But there was a discussion with the manager in round two. I will not take the name who she was. Sorry, I will not do that. But that technical round level goes only for 5 to 7 minutes. Jitna maine suna hai, that is the last step, and it is basically just a formality. But we went into a discussion for around 1 hour.
Okay.
Why? Because she somehow sensed that I am a public speaker. Why the mode of speaking? Why my hand movements? And she asked me, "Are you a public speaker?" I said yes. And then that interview or that very round went into that direction of public speaking. And she even told me that you should follow your passion, because in long run, if you want to be happy, if you want to be at peace, that is something very important. Whatever she said, I really don't want to go there, because it was more emotional thing, and she wanted that where I am right now in this company, but I always wanted to be where you are. Getting my
Okay.
point, that
Yeah, yeah,
please, please,
yeah.
please go behind your dreams. Secondly, coming to the bread and butter point, I had a meeting with one person in my life who once told me that you have the right, you are blessed enough to choose what you want to do in life. Fine.
Okay.
What he wanted to say behind that, what was the statement, was that you are not the bread and butter of your family. Coming to me, talking about me, I don't want to feed any stomach right now in my life. Getting my
Yeah.
point. So he told me that you have this blessing with you. God has blessed you in this way that you can choose your domain, you can choose your area, you can choose your passion, and slowly, steadily, you can work in that direction. But people who have the stomach to feed at their house, who have responsibilities, who have their EMIs, who have everything else with them, I will never ask to put a full stop to your passion. Because if you kill your passion, you somehow die and you're working like a dead body.
Yeah.
Don't put a full stop, put a comma to that. In the sense, Monday to Friday, go for that 10 to 5 or 9 to 6 wala job. And in Saturday, Sundays, go for the sessions, no? Go for the sessions. Now, if you're making money, if you're making enough money from Monday to Friday wala thing, what you can do for the passion world, you can go to India Gate. Let's say, for example, India Gate. Gather few people and talk, because that
Yeah.
is now your passion only. You're making bread and butter through Monday to Friday wala job.
Yeah.
So I will never ever ask anyone to put a full stop to their passion world. And if you are unable to make money right now, for example, right now you're unable to make money, then I will say put a halt for a shorter time. But time never remains same. It keeps on changing. Every
Yeah.
moment when a person is changing, then what about time? Time also changes every time. So
Yeah.
it's better that take a time, take some halt, try something else, and then again, if you feel that no, you're meant for that very thing only, then please come back to that very field. That's
Yeah,
it.
that makes sense. Next, what I wanted to cover was that specifically in the industry of corporate training, or maybe all this training sessions that we see in companies, is there a gender bias towards like male trainers? Like, is it that a lot of HR look like a lot of HR guys look towards male people to give trainings in their companies? Is that a thing? Is that an active conversation?
I don't think so. There is any gender biasness here. See, only on the occasions of Women's Day, obviously they want female trainers, which happens in the month of March, that you receive all the messages, all that we want a female trainer. So I
Yeah.
guess only on special occasions there is this very chance, and that is reasonable, also justifiable, also because that is Women's Day. So
Yeah.
obviously a male trainer. Still, I have seen male who go and get the sessions, and they are talking about women itself, that how they are powerful, how they have changed the world, how they are in completely balance with the men and everything. So only on that day, I guess the female word or the women word has been used in the messages or in the mail or in any of this stuff. Whereas there is no biasness in that way. I have been in this industry for now many years. I have never seen any biasness in that way. The males are also doing fantastic in this, and females are also doing fantastic. So there is no partiality, no biasness in that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to ask you next in this was that a lot of people fear in this profession, like not just specifically into corporate training, but into anything related to not mainstream. They have this fear that, okay, let's suppose right now out of college, like I work for 1 or 2 years, I get some kind of work X, and after that, I start following my side passion into corporate training. And then be like 6 months into it, I start making decent money. Like I'm able to get my main thing sorted, and then I think that okay, I can do this full time because I am making some sort of a living out of this. But then they have this thing stopping them that, hey, wait, right now maybe let's say this thing is making me like 20-25K a month, but there is no future in this. Like, okay, right now it's making me, maybe for the next 2 years also it makes the same amount, But what beyond that? Like what after 2 years, if I'm not making any money out of this, if suddenly this thing stops making me money, my resume shows a gap of 2 years, like, and that's bad for my professional career ahead. And that's why a lot of people fear that, okay, even if this thing is making me money right now, I cannot take the plunge of jumping into it, just for the sheer reason that, unlike if you're in a regular company, you have this career graph that, okay, if you stay loyal to this company for the next 5 years, you reach XYZ position, your chairs change. But in this thing, there is nothing like that. So what's your take on that?
See, here also there are a lot of things. Like every company has a graph. No, for example, if you start at a lower level in the hierarchy, for example, you obviously you reach with time and with your knowledge, with the learning curve increasing, you reach to the higher level in the hierarchy. When we talk about this very field of professional trainers or corporate trainers or public speaker, how the graph flows is, first you start doing free sessions, fine. Then you start going for a very low commercial wherein you are willing to work even for 1000 rupees a day. Yes, I am very honest. You go for that also because you need the word of mouth promotion of yours. Then the graph increase, you get brand in your list. For example, I went for Axis Bank. So you get that brands in your list. Then moving further, what you try to do is that you don't want any sort of mediator. For example, right now I get a project via Morris. And now I'm like, no, I don't want to work with mediator. Why? Because you will also have your commission. Fine.
Yeah,
You are
yeah,
also acting as a mediator. You'll be like, Priyanka, I am giving you this thing. No, so sorry. So when you promote, when you are reaching high, what you try to do is you go for your own company. Basically, what we all are, we are entrepreneurs. What we are doing, we have this small business of ours. No, it is now my wish, I want to take a session or not, as a businesswoman or as a businessman.
yeah,
This type of liberty you never get in a job thing.
yeah,
Secondly, moving ahead in this way also, what happens is कि मुझे अपनी public speaking कंपनी खोलनी है, ठीक है?
yeah, yeah,
आज मैं अपनी बात करूँ Morris, तो right now I have so many messages wherein people are like, how to be a public speaker. It's
yeah,
not a easy cake. It is not an easy cake. That even I am not saying that you learn it something from your mother's womb. No, 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 no. You really work hard and then you become a public speaker or a trainer. And it is not a very easy pie that I have given you. Just eat it and you will be a public speaker. So
yeah,
there are so many people in the world who wants to be a public speaker. If you have that X factor in you that you can train them, and you believe that you have that entrepreneurial skills in you, or you know how to run a business, so obviously you can set your own business, which will never have happen in service class.
yeah,
Service class may always you will be under someone. For example, from a middle level manager you are becoming a high level manager, also you are working under someone,
yeah,
and you are working as per his or her wish. Coming on to the monetary aspect, obviously when you remove the mediator in public speaking corporate trainer, you are making more money. When you have your own company, you are making a hell amount of money.
yeah,
And see, every arena or every task is associated with risk. पढ़ते हैं ना, higher the risk, higher the profit. So how can we forget this funda here in this public speaking and corporate training? So I
yeah.
don't think so. You should be optimistic. You should have a positive approach, and things will fall in that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next, what I wanted to touch the point was that a lot of these trainers flex their certificates when they get into these seminars and all. That, hey, I'm certified from XYZ Institute and all. Honestly, I'll tell you that I've attended a bunch of seminars, and as a listener, I give least importance to that, because I'm like, okay, if this guy or girl is speaking great, it's fine. If not, then I won't listen to him any which ways. Like that the certificates don't matter. But I get from where they are coming. Like I get that to maintain a certain level of industry standards, you need that thing, like just to keep yourself in the industry. So like, what is this entire craze with certificates? Like, from an audience point, I've told you that it does not matter to me unless you're speaking good. I'm cool with that. But I want you to like reveal the industry side of things. Why is it that a lot of trainers come and flex their certificates that, hey, I'm certified from XYZ Institute, or I've done this online training or whatsoever? Why is that happening?
See, the answer will run very long because this is a point which actually hit me also badly.
Yeah, you can go. You
I
can
don't
go
know
in
how.
detail. Yeah,
Uh,
you can go
I
in
don't know
detail.
how far I'll be good to say this, that I don't have any certificate. I don't
Okay.
know how far I'm good in saying this. I don't have any certifications. Although I picked that Udemy and Udemy, whatever that site is, I tried going for a public speaking certification and I didn't like that course. I'm sorry. So I have bought that course, and maybe one fine day what I'll do is I'll play that session so that it gets completed and I get a certificate out of that. Anyways, uh, certifications. I have met people who ask for this in the industry. I have seen such people also who flaunt it very much. I am a certified trainer. See, I am a certified one. But as an audience, what you notice is a very wonderful sense that you know this, that if a person on the stage is speaking well, if his words are hitting me here in my heart or head, for you, he's the king of the show. He's the
Yeah.
showman, he's the limelight. And if any certified trainer is standing on the stage and he is not touching you here or here, he's not a speaker for me, at least for me, and I guess for you also. I will here talk about a very wonderful speaker who has always been a part of my sessions. I am not promoting anyone, but I have followed that very speaker. His name is Laz Brown.
Okay.
Maybe you know about the person, Laz Brown. First of all, Morris, I'll talk about his physical attributes. ठीक है? जो हम बोलते हैं ना कि for a speaker you should have a figure or you should be this, that and all. Laz Brown is a person who is bald, who has black complexion, who is heavy in weight. Fine, our society never accepts all this, no? हमारी society तो accept नहीं करती. But he is a wonderful speaker, a global speaker. He in childhood was being said by the doctor that he is mentally retarded.
Okay.
Mentally retarded.
Okay.
A person from being asked or being told that he is mentally retarded has now his own talk show, the Laz Brown talk show. I don't think so he has any certificate. I don't think so he has gone for any sort of course for that. I don't think so. But he is still a wonderful motivational speaker. Even if I hear him at any day of any time of the day, no, you can see me crying because the way he motivates, the way he sees, you're gonna be hungry for your dreams. There's one video on YouTube which titles that you're gonna be hungry for your dreams, and the way he speaks, no, anytime if I'm listening to him, you will see that I'm crying and I'm getting motivated. Whatever he says, it touches me here and here. So I don't think so he has any sort of certificate. See, but there is another part of society who asks for the certifications, who says that if you have a certificate which provides you a label that you are a good public speaker. But I have seen such people who have the certificates, but they have never touched me here or here.
Yeah.
So for me, because the interview is with me right now, as a person, I don't feel that it is important. Maybe हो सकता है कुछ very project के लिए कुछ project के लिए पीछे से ही criteria है.
Yeah.
पीछे से ही criteria आ रहा है कि there.
I had read this. I read this point somewhere, which said that the way you speak, the way you talk, is to impress the audience. Your certificates are to impress the gatekeepers, the one who actually allow you to come in front of the audience.
I really like this one. See, so I don't have any certificate, to be very honest. But yes, I understand that if you have the qualification, for example, I told you about the CA thing of mine, I guess that opens the ear more. You know, this happens that, for example, if any IS officer is there on the stage, or if, like, I have attended this, I have met Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji when he came up with this GST, when he inaugurated GST on 1st July. I was there as a volunteer. And I have seen him very closely. Now, what happens in that way? He's a wonderful orator. He's a wonderful speaker. But what happens at that time is, oh my God, we're listening to Prime Minister. Getting my point? Here I want to say that if somebody is in this way, or he is a IS officer, or let's say he's a very renowned doctor or very renowned psychiatrist, so we have our ears more open that now he'll be talking about his own arena. For example, Narendra Modi ji will be talking about politics or COVID-19 or what next steps are to be taken. So we are prepared in that way. But certifications, as far as I have been in the industry, that has never bothered me. And if any person who is willing to be in the industry, I don't think so you should bother in this way that, oh my God, I have to go for this certification or that certification. I have to keep a bunch of certificates. Now what is happening in COVID-19? Everyone has a lot of certificates of these webinars. I was seeing a meme on Instagram wherein there is a little boy, who has a sack full of certificates of webinars. Because in COVID-19, what everyone is doing, you know, everyone is doing the webinar. See, certificate, that piece of paper, I don't know how much it is important, but webinars, if you have taken it in your head and heart, that is important. If you have learned out of it, you are speaking of it, that is important. But that piece of paper, क्या हो रहा है? Online session में अगर मैं बोलूँ, मैंने ऐसे भी देखा है कि they have simply clicked the photograph of theirs and they are getting displayed on the set कि हम भाई attend कर रहे हैं. But they are watching TV, they are watching Netflix. So in the end of the day, obviously attendance will give you the certificate. ठीक है, तो certificate तो मिल गया, क्या दिमाग में वो बुद्धि में आया? वो wanted है, वो important है. So मेरी तरफ से तो I don't think so. The certifications, they play a role. I don't have anyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, like continuing into this segment, I want to ask that a lot of interviews, a lot of blog articles on the internet regarding corporate training help someone to reach from 1 to 10. Like, let's say they are at level 1, they can reach to level 10. But no one is teaching like how to go from 0 to 1. Like, let's suppose if I know that I am good at certain theories, I know that I'm good at speaking, Okay, and as you mentioned that everyone needs to start from free. Cool, I agree to that. Once you start from free, you build a portfolio, you get those videos, you get those emoji, I mean images, you get those testimonials, and you can like forward them out, and you can like build on from that. You can get further work from that. But what if someone is like just having the thought that okay, I've got this skill. So what is that process that takes you from 0 to 1? How do you reach out to your first company telling them that hey, I can take a session for your company, and then the company asks you, okay, what have you done? And like you are like, oh no, this is my first project. How do you break that ice? How do you go on getting your first
Uh,
back?
See, here I'll tell you one out of my own life and one someone who has shared. I was in one of the college in Faridabad. Again, I guess I can take the name. That was Satyug Darshan Institute of Engineering and Technology, SDIET College. And therein, three trainers were invited, me, one girl, and one more sir. I will not take the name of the sir. I asked him that how he reached to the corporate world. First, I'll tell him how his life took him to the corporate world, and then I'll tell you how my life took me to the corporate world. I asked him that, sir, how you reach to the corporate world? He said that I used to do this, what बीटी जिसको कहते हैं ना, अपना वो मैं खुद करता था, मैं जाता था उनके पास और अपना प्रमोशन खुद करता था. मैंने कहा they used to allow you in this way, like you are going and you are banging on their door, knock knock, open, here I am and I want to train your employees. He
And
said
then
no, it was not that
can
easy.
you like sorry to cut you out, but can you like elaborate on BT? Like I don't know what that stands.
I'm not getting the full form. It is like business. आपको लेना है, business बनाना होता है. I'm not getting the full form. They only use this. I'll just check it out and I'll tell you in the end of the session what this T term is.
Yeah, no
But I
worries.
know what it is. It is basically that you have to promote yourself on your own, like the word of mouth, which we call
Yeah,
it.
got it.
अपना business लेकर आना type of thing. So what he did, he used to go to the companies from X to Y and Z, and this way he used to be like that I'm a trainer and he was rejected. First of all, please, he was rejected. But then he convinced one of the company's manager that what I'll do is give me two worst employees of yours. Worst
Okay.
in the sense unproductive, the one
Yeah.
who are not doing well for your company. Just give me two employees and give me 5 days. Fine. I will train them, then see their performance. If you see there is a change in the performance, then we'll again have a meeting. So getting a very small experiment, a very real experiment, what he did, he just went, he requested them, दो employees unproductive है ना, आप मुझे वो दो, मैं उनको ट्रेन करूंगा, मैं उनको सेल्स पिच करना सिखाऊंगा, मैं उनको सब कुछ सिखाऊंगा, आप 5 दिन बाद उनको नोटिस करना how they are performing. If you find any changes in them, moving ahead, we can again conduct a meeting. And it worked for him. It
Okay.
worked for him. So,
Okay.
so now maybe 0 to 1, 0 to 1, not 1 from 10, but 0 to 1.
Makes sense.
Coming to another aspect, my life. I gave n number of sessions in NGOs. N number of sessions in NGO. Now, what happens in an NGO is all sort of people come to an NGO. And this word of mouth promotion is a very big promotion. For example, I will here narrate a story, a very beautiful story which I'm remembering. कि there was a band of musician, एक band था musician का, और एक गांव में था, मतलब it's a story of abroad. There is a small village in abroad, और वहाँ का मौसम ऐसा था कि आए दिन snowfall हो रहा था, बारिश बहुत हो रही थी, और रोज नंबर ऑफ अटेंडीज कम होते जा रहे थे. मतलब बैंड तो बजा रहा था लेकिन लोग बहुत कम आ रहे थे और गरीब लोग आने लग गए थे क्योंकि खाली पड़ा था और बहुत कम पैसा बन रहा था, बहुत बहुत पिटी अमाउंट पर पेनी अमाउंट बन रहा था. So what they did, musicians were like, we will not perform further. हमें ना अब नहीं perform करना चाहिए. We should put a halt. जब weather ठीक हो जाएगा हम तब perform करेंगे. But there was a positive musician among the band of musicians. He said, यार हमारा काम है perform करना. Our task is to perform. उसके बाद क्या होता है? Let's not get into that. हमारा काम है, we decided, we made this band and our task is to just perform. And listening to him, the other musicians got a positivity. They got a ray of hope and they're like, तू सही कह रहा है यार, हमारा काम तो है perform करना. So they were like, रात का शो जो कैंसिल करना था, उस म्यूजिशियन के कहने पर उन्होंने उसको कैंसिल नहीं किया and they played the band और अच्छे से म्यूजिक अच्छे से बजाया. And when the session ended, जब ये म्यूजिशियन का बैंड खत्म हुआ, जब ये अपना वाइंड अप कर रहे थे सेशन, इनको एक स्लिप मिली, एक स्लिप और एक बैग मिला. जब उन्होंने वो स्लिप खोली, उसमें लिखा था आपका शो बहुत अच्छा था, नीचे था राजा, उस गांव का राजा.
Okay.
और साथ में सोने के सिक्के थे. There were this gold coins in that bag, and this is just a token of love for you people.
Yeah.
So I guess the message of the story is, even if there is one in the crowd, speak for that one also. Even if there is only one employee in the company, go for that one employee also. Many of the known people of this very existing world I know many of the successful people in life who started with teaching one student and then they became the mentor and the guide for the entire world. So I started with NGO because you never know who is there to listen your talk. And
Yeah.
हो सकता है कि वहाँ पे किसी company का कोई manager बैठा हो who finds me to be interesting and who shares the card with me and he says, okay, fine, let's have a session in our company also. This has happened with me. This has really happened with me. I got all these brands via feedback, via word of mouth. For example, I went to, I'll say ITS गाजियाबाद एक कॉलेज था जहाँ पे मेरा सेशन था. अब हुआ क्या मॉरिस, वहां पर रूल ये था कि आई विल गेट 50 स्टूडेंट्स एंड द अदर ट्रेनर विल गेट 50 स्टूडेंट्स, यानी कि 50-50. द अदर ट्रेनर डिडंट टर्न आउट, वो नहीं आई. मुझे कॉल आया जिसने मुझे दिया था वो प्रोजेक्ट कि यार द अदर गर्ल इज नॉट कमिंग, यू हैव टू टेक द एंटायर बंच ऑफ 100 स्टूडेंट्स, which was not tough for me because I have done it before also. मेरे लिए tough नहीं था, मुझे पता था I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
ये मुझे कॉल आ गया that you have to take care of 100 students. मैनेजमेंट, स्कूल की मैनेजमेंट से एक इन्विजिलेटर वहां पे बिठा दिया गया और कहा कि see how the girl is doing. And you know, I never bother that who is listening to me, who is not listening to me, in the sense कि कोई बड़ा इंसान मेरे सेशन में है तो क्या मैं सेशन बदल दूं, क्या उस तरीके से ले लूं, क्या नहीं. I remain the way that I am. जो मेरा रहता है वैसा ही रहता है. And I was in that very zone of mind जैसे मैं सेशंस देती हूँ और मैंने वैसा ही दिया. Lunch हुआ and that very person, the one who was sitting there in the session from the management side, he came to me and he said that we want you with our own school in the college. We want that we should have more sessions with you on individual basis.
Makes
So
sense.
are you getting my point?
Yeah.
That I was there and just because this happened, all of a sudden the other girl was not coming and he could see me that how beautifully I was handling the 100 bunch of students and I was doing the activities and they were interacting with me. It was going very well. In the lunch itself, like in 3-4 hours, he could see that I have that aura or whatever I have that touched him and he came to me and he said, I want to talk to you. I said, say. He's like, we want that we should have more sessions from you on individual basis.
Yeah.
So getting my point, how it moves in this way itself.
So you need to, like, even if that's like the audience size is less, you need to keep hitting, and that's how the game multiplies. That's how your word of mouth spreads.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes
you
sense.
Never know who is there in that one also. Maybe, see, what is public speaking and training? It is about changing people's life.
Yeah.
I remember, Abhi, mere jo back-to-back sessions rahe, I'll share the feedbacks with you. They have written all this in the mailbox. They have written that, thank you for changing our life. You are now an inspiration to us. In the pandemic phase, in the COVID-19 phase, you are someone who motivated us, because that is the role of a trainer and a public speaker.
Yeah.
This is what we do know, that you have to make someone feel good about themselves, whatever they are. It is not that only when you are a star, you should be feel them good. No, even you are nothing, you should make them feel good. That fine, if you're nothing right now, maybe you'll good some other day. You have to lead the life in that way. So that is the task of a speaker and a trainer. So this is how it goes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next, what I wanted to ask was that in this 0 to 1 answer, you mentioned that you need to, like, reach out. You probably reached out to NGOs. The other sir, he reached out to companies and all. Like right now, if someone had to start out from a zero phase, how would you suggest them to reach out to clients? Like, if suppose there's this guy who's like a no one into this entire industry, what do you suggest? Like every day 9 a.m. wake up, go to 10 companies, like knock their door, like just walk into their office randomly, first have a talk with the HR, then have a talk with the interested person. Like is that the procedure? So how is the game going?
There is no single way out of it.
Okay.
What you can do is, for example, now if you're at point 0, for example, you have any link. Let's say you don't have any link also. What you can do, you can call a session for your friends. Very simple. I'll tell you about a girl. I will again not name that girl. What she did, she called entire bunch of aunties of a residential welfare association at her home. Now listen to me, Maurice, what she did. She called everyone, RWAs की aunties को अपने घर बुला लिया, उनके लिए एक session रख लिया parenting पे, ठीक है, उनके लिए एक session रख लिया happiness पे. Everyone wants to be happy. There is none on the planet who wants to be sad or don't want to be happy. And what she did, out of the session, she took some of the feedbacks, record कर लिया. For example, एक आंटी आई, आंटी जी आपको सेशन कैसा लगा? बेटा बहुत अच्छा था, तुम बहुत ऊपर जाओगी, you did it very nicely. There was some educated auntie also who brought a message for her. ठीक है, and what she did, she clicked a selfie with all the auntie. For example, you are not comfortable with aunties. What you can do, call your friends and say, we are having a session today. You know, I have a dream of becoming a public speaker. I'm not getting the audience. Why not you people go to any place of travel. You can go to India Gate, you can go to any park, you can gather some people and say, let's talk about yoga today. Let's have this yoga thing, how it works. Record the session, click some photographs, take some feedbacks, and just how it works. It was my birthday a few days back, 19 July, I told you also. I went to Lodi Garden. Why I'm sharing this with you, there was this uncle. एक अंकल थे जो गुम्बद था बीच में, जो टॉम था, जो मॉन्यूमेंट था, उसके बीच में वो गाए जा रहे थे. And Morris, I really didn't like his singing. He was just singing. बहुत तेज आवाज में कुछ पढ़ के गाए जा रहे हैं. एक foreigner आई वहां पर, and she was not comfortable with English, but she could understand and everything. Uncle kept on saying, "Please give me a feedback." मतलब उनकी अंग्रेजी भी अच्छी नहीं थी, and I was trying to act as a mediator between both of them. Uncle was like, इनको बोलो मुझे feedback दे दें, and I communicated that he is asking that give him a feedback. Fine. Yeah. And why he was asking the feedback? So that he can show it to people that there was a girl from so and so country and she liked my music. And वो बोल रहे थे, इनको बोलो that my throat is nice, I sing very well, getting it. So yeah. I asked her, just drop a feedback that you liked his voice, his throat is very nice, he's singing very melodiously, and just put it down. Now what will happen? He was doing it free of cost. He just came to a monument. In the middle of the monument, he's singing. And what he's trying to do is trying to take feedback from people. Fine. And now this is fake feedback also, you can call it, but I will suggest and insist on the positive feedbacks and the original and the real feedback, because that helps you in the long run. You can start with falsehood, you can start with a lie, but you cannot sustain with a lie. You cannot sustain.
Beyond
Take
a point,
all sort of feedbacks.
Beyond a point, why will even your friends every time, drop in a feedback or makes sense.
Yes. So you have to request them. And secondly, if there are false feedback also or bad feedback also, try to learn out of them. Try to learn out of them. All singers are not same. So you have to learn out of them. I have seen in one of my training session, I could see a girl who was not willing to attend the session. Okay. So you cannot force anybody to win the session. But there were again 48 students who were willing to. You have to see the positive side to it, not the negative one. Again, it depends on your optimistic side and how you think towards the thing. Let the positive win, not the negative.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Over here, I wanted to ask you that there might be some companies like after the 0 to 1 phase is done, and now you are like growing day by day, year by year. So there are certain companies who say that, okay, cool, we get the fact that you are good at speaking, you're good at training, you're good at what you do, you're good at your work. But a company has a budget of, let's say, X, and that's like lower than your expectations. So what do you do at that time? Do you say that, okay, I'm at least getting a client, so like let's pick up this cash and let's start the training? Or that's when you are at a beginning stage? But when you are at a certain level, when you know that you have some options available on your table, how do you negotiate the money? How do you say that, okay, I love training, you need the training, but we need to like get on the cash part, we need to negotiate the cash part? So how do you go for the negotiation part in the training industry?
See, it depends. I'll tell you how it depends. It depends on circumstances. It depends on situation to situation. For example, you're getting a very low amount. But that very company is a brand, is a big brand. Putting that name in your profile will change your profile, you will increase the weight of the profile. Go for that. Don't go for money at that time. Yeah. What you can do is at that time is you can convince the person, fine, we are agreeing on this amount right now, I'll be coming also. Why? Because in your head, in back of your head, you are like, you want that brand in your profile. But try to negotiate, sir, right now we are doing it, but let's make it bigger for the next time, abhi to hum kar lete hain. Let's see and how it works out. If the feedback turns out to be good, if you like my performance, we'll increase it. And the other person never says no to it. Because something which is uncertain, something which is a future point of view, he always says yes only. Yeah. Moving ahead, if you are not getting a brand, like I said no to a company before this lockdown phase, I was not happy with the company. Why? First, they take a lot out of you. Lot in the sense that early morning, 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and the reimbursement, the commercial is very low. So at that time, you have to raise your voice in the sense, say no. We often leading this life have forgotten saying no to people, but it is not that way difficult. It gives you peace and it gives you other opportunities also. Because अगर आप एक दरवाजा बंद नहीं करोगे तो दूसरा खोलने कैसे जाओगे? आपको एक तो बंद करना पड़ेगा ही ना. Then only you will open, or you will opportunity cost, which we say, you have to knock at some other door. So in this way I said no to the company. Why? Because the commercials are very low, and commercials जिंदगी में कभी increase हो नहीं सकते, क्योंकि जितने मेरी ट्रेनर से बात हुई वो बोले हम तो 4 साल से एसोसिएटेड हैं, 4 साल पहले भी यही था. So getting my point. So with such companies you have to say no only when you have some other company in your hand. ठीक है, वरना वो भी ठीक है जब तक कहते ना कुछ ना है. Something is better than nothing.
So
ये कुछ concepts है life के.
There's this quote which says that.
चलो.
There's this quote which says that opportunity cost only applies wherein you have an opportunity. Next.
Yes.
Otherwise,
otherwise it never applies.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's always a +1.
Yes. Yeah. The point is, see, I said no to the company because I knew that now I'm reaching that scale or level and I am getting other projects also. So now it is the right time to say no to that company. Yeah. So in this way, you have to balance your life. Nobody else will come and tell you that say no to it, because I have seen such trainers also who are enthusiastic, who have reached a high level of the career also, but they're not saying no to such companies also, you know. Yeah. So maybe their idea can be that they don't want to spoil a relationship, or maybe their idea can be यार कुछ तो आ ही रहा है ना. अगर let's say कोई project नहीं है, because है तो freelancer ही ना, let's say आपके पास कोई project नहीं है तो 3 दिन का प्रोजेक्ट अपने कैलेंडर में शिफ्ट कर लो, कहीं मूव कर लो, लेकिन मुझे लगता है उन 3 दिनों में मैं किताबें पढ़ लूं जो मेरे पीछे पड़ी हैं, ठीक है, और मैं कुछ और कर लूं जिससे मेरी नॉलेज इंक्रीज हो. तो इट डिपेंड्स फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. अगेन इट इज फॉर एक्स इट कैन बी डिफरेंट, फॉर वाई इट कैन बी डिफरेंट, फॉर प्रियंका इट इज वेरी डिफरेंट.
That makes sense. But like a point very similar to this, does this thing break the market? Like if there are a lot of trainers who are like, okay, I'll charge less money, when this starts happening on a large scale, does it break the entire market in a whole? Like if suppose you as a trainer, let's say, have a rate of 10K, and then there are like 10 different trainers who are willing to do the same session for 3K or 4K, you as a trainer know that their quality is lower than yours, but the word of mouth goes that okay, trainers in Delhi charge 3 or 4K. So does that break the entire cost of the market as a whole, like from the business point of view?
I received a call अभी 2 दिन पहले ही, जहाँ पे मुझे बोला can we have a copy of yours, can we get someone as similar as yours, but not one who charges as much as you charge. Okay. समझ रहे हो, चाहिए भी कॉपी, ये लाइन थी एग्जैक्ट, बट इतना चार्ज ना करें जो इतने कम पैसों में भी मान जाए. तो ये भी हमारी सोसाइटी में एग्जिस्ट करता है. ठीक है, आज का जो टाइम है, कोविड-19 का जो टाइम है, या उससे पहले की भी बात करूं, फॉरगेट अबाउट कोविड-19, कॉस्ट एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है ना हर कंपनी में, वो हमेशा चाहती है जितना कम जाए उतना बेहतर है. अब कुछ कंपनीज हो सकती हैं जो कहेंगे हम क्वालिटी पे तो सेक्रीफाइस कर लेंगे जनाब, लेकिन हमें कॉस्ट चाहिए कि हमारे गले से सिर्फ 3,000 रुपए निकले. तो उनकी तो थिंकिंग आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते ना मॉरिस. उन्होंने सोच लिया कि वी वांट अ ट्रेनर ऑफ 3,000 ओनली. ठीक है, so what you can do is, if you have time, if you don't have any project, go for the 3,000. But I have heard people saying this also कि फिर यार 3,000 में तो इतना ही मिलेगा ना. You know that line, no? इतने में तो इतना ही मिलेगा ना. So they don't work harder on the employees, on the students. I heard this line and I was shocked because I was giving my 100%. This is me. This is how it goes for me. But the other trainer was like, what are they expecting in 3,000? Sorry, I will not give my 100% in 3,000. They're asking for the report. They're asking for the feedback. They're asking for scorings. No, sorry, assessment. That to individual assessment. I will not do this. So getting this changes the mind of a trainer. So whatever you are paying, for example, the person says yes to 3,000 because he or she does not have any project. So that also crowd exists in the society. There have been such situations also wherein a 10K project is been given to someone who is willing to do it in 4K, but then the consequences are to be beared. ठीक है, क्योंकि वो जो 10K वाला बंदा है ना, उसकी क्वालिटी बहुत डिफरेंट होगी वो 4K वाले से. ठीक है, तो अगेन यू हैव टू बियर द कंसिक्वेंसेस आल्सो. हो सकता है बहुत अच्छा टर्न हो सकता है कि ओ माय गॉड ही इज आल्सो एन इन्फ्लुएंसर, ही इज आल्सो अ गेम चेंजर, एंड हो सकता है ही इज नॉट अ गेम चेंजर आल्सो. So depends.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next, what I wanted to ask you was that, okay, like we discussed 0 to 1, we discussed 1 to 10, but what beyond 10? Like someone is at 10, he is established as a corporate trainer, he, like, people know him, he earns his full-time butter and bread through this industry. Now, what are the means of him to increase his paycheck? Like, what are the things which he can do so that he increases the amount of money that he makes every single month?
He can become a master trainer. Now, what is this master trainer is that you have trainers under you. Like, for example, I am not a master trainer, but I have been with master trainers wherein whatever project they get, and for example, why they are a master trainer? Because they have been in the industry for a longer time. So what they do is, for example, they receive 10 projects. So they keep 5 with them, the A1 projects, and then they transfer the other projects to you people, but
Delegation.
with a commission. But with a commission amount.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that we'll, for example, you're getting 10K, so out of 10K, we'll give you 8K, 2K we'll keep with ourselves. Okay, so again, you're making money out of it. Secondly, what people do when they reach that height, they write a book. They write a
Okay.
book.
Okay.
And yes, they are writing a book these days. I know people who are writing a book. Why they're doing it? They first of all they want to pen down their feelings, because book writing is all about penning down your feelings. First, they get such sort of satisfaction. Secondly, they are known as authors, that they have written a book also. Obviously, getting my point, they have written a book
Authenticity
also.
point. Yeah.
Third, yes, and third, they open their own public speaking ki dukaan. They open their own organization wherein they are training other employees, and
Yeah.
that gives you a sense of contentment. That gives you a sense of hope. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there are so many things to do. If 10 years you are given in the industry, you are at a very high level. There is no
Yeah.
need of marketing. People know you. Anytime they call you, or you go to them and they can keep your session anytime. So your hard work is not the way you were doing it at point zero, because now you are at point 10 or above that. So there are multiple things which opens up, which I also need to figure out, because I am still into 0 to 10 wala concept. So we
Yeah.
need to figure out. But I know that these are three of the things which I can share: becoming a master trainer, opening your own public speaking company, or getting into this book writing. And there are multiple things which you can do in your life.
Yeah, that makes sense. The last question for this podcast, and I end the podcast with everyone on the same question, and that is that right now you have answered like all the questions. You have like spoken through this entire conversation. If you had to just sum it up in a minute, like why should someone listen to this 1 hour long podcast? Like why should someone give their 1 hour to listen to this entire conversation? So what are they going to get out of this?
Okay. So this is a question. I just want to say to all those people that if you are a common person, and if you belong to that middle class family, and who have dreams, who have eyes full of dreams, and who really want to do something in life, or want to change millions of life, or who want to be a game changer in anybody's life, just listen to this podcast, because abhi SSR ki death hui, Sushant Singh Rajput ki, and there was this quote which was getting very popular on Instagram, that the agony, the pain is so much. Why? Because he was a common man. He
Yeah.
was from us, who had normal dreams, who just reached to the heights.
Yeah.
So if I would sum up that why you should hear this podcast, is that if you have those small dreams, if your eyes are full of dreams, and you really want to do something which is not of that same thing which everyone is doing, 10 to 5 wala job, out of the box, you have some sort of thinking, then for sure listen to this audio video, that you will have something out of it. So this
Yeah.
is what I can say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for being on this podcast. Thank you for giving your time over here. And like I too am a bit inclined towards the speaking arena as a whole. So like it was a lot of learning for me as well. A lot of insights into the industry specifically.
Okay, thank you, Morris, for this invitation to the podcast. Though it
Yeah.
was getting deferred, and finally it happened. So I'm happy that it happened.
Yeah.
And thank you. It was very nice talking to you, because the quotations which you used about the certification thing and the opportunity cost, I loved it, and I'll be using it in my sessions. That is
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
That is something which you learn and you implement, and then you take it to your sessions. So I look forward for the recording of it. And thank you. God bless you. It was amazing talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you.